Okay, I wanted to do this little video to show you my understanding of what I call the compound latency effect, or issue, or question. It's my understanding of why I don't think we're going to be able to play with each other until we have super low latency. Okay, so we've talked about having an anchor person, and this person will be playing some music and they'll be able to hear what they're playing. The guitar player will hear himself playing guitar, and that signal of the guitar will go out to the internet and come back to him. And we've experienced this where it's not lined up, it's not synced with what this guitar player is playing himself, and can hear through his headphones, or can hear through his, just through the air from what he's playing right here. Okay, so we add another person. This person can hear the guitar player and can play along with what he's hearing, and that's fine. That works great. But his signal going back to that guitar player is not synced up with what the guitar player is playing and hearing for himself. And it's really hard to play with someone when it sounds like they're a half a beat behind you. Okay, to the fiddle player, he's thinking, oh wow, we sound great together. And the guitar player is saying, oh, she's a half a beat behind me. This is terrible. And it works for the fiddle player because he's muted himself and can't hear himself coming back from the internet. So he's just playing along as though the guitar player is a metronome that he can hear. Okay, this we all understand, we all agree that that's what's going on. Okay, so I've just squished that last slide here up at the top so that I can add a third person here. So this person hears the guitar player, the banjo player, oh, and he also hears the fiddle player, and he's committed to playing along with the guitar player. That's his job. So he's going to hear himself and the guitar player, and they're going to sound great together. His signal is going to go back to the internet and out to both the guitar player and the fiddle player. The guitar player is going to hear him synced up pretty well with the fiddle player, but he's the only one that's going to hear that. The fiddle player is going to hear the banjo player not synced up with them because he's hearing the banjo player is playing along with the guitar, but then there's latency for the signal from the banjo to get back to the fiddle player. So there's latency from the guitar to the banjo, and then more latency from the banjo back to the fiddle player. So the banjo player and the fiddle player are not able to play together because they're both playing with the guitar. So to the guitar player, it all sounds fine, even though he can't really play with them because they're behind him. So I hope that makes sense. This is the compound latency issue. Nobody can play with anybody. So I think it works for recording because everybody's signal gets back to the guitar player at roughly the same time. So the person in that sacrificial leader position can hear everybody coming in at the same time, and that will work to make a recording. But for all the musicians out in the world, they only get to play with the guitar player and they have to ignore everybody else. So we're not really playing together in a together way. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a bright spot that when you get to be the sacrificial leader, you're also the only one who gets to hear everyone play together, but it's also kind of a curse because you don't get to play with them. So sorry if this is depressing. This is my understanding of how it's working right now.